Gotta see your knowledge, got the truck jumping like hang when I rebound, then I'm out. And you never talk about it. Only square. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Frida and I'm going to be doing this makeup look. I hope you like it, and excuse me if I don't pronounce certain things the right way, and excuse my nails, they're a disaster. You know, quarantine time is not good, but I will try to do my best with my English, but English is not my first language. And I have a second, like my first channel was in Spanish, so if you have any video that you would like me to recreate or maybe put subtitles in the other channel, I will gladly do, because I have quite a few different videos there and I have quite colorful and more neutral makeup looks in the other channel, so I will try to link down below. So as you can see, this is, it's a little bit dull, Bratz, Korean, kind of inspired. I love the crazy stuff in the hair and I just had so much fun doing this makeup. This is more dramatic for sure, but you know, you will see as we go. You don't have to do this crazy cut crease as I did, but I think for my eye shape, because I have so much space between my eyes and my eyebrows, it's quite fun to play with that space. I don't have like deep set eyes, so I have to be more playful when it comes to that for the eye makeup to look, you know, like super deep when it comes to my to get that deepness in my eye. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. But yeah, that and lashes make wonders for sure, but I will try to explain this to you and make this as easy as it can be. But yeah, I hope you like it, and if you wanna watch the video, go ahead. Hello everyone, I'm going to show you what I use to prep my skin. I use some CeraVe cream and some lip conditioner from MAC. This is one of my favorite ones. It's so good, you have to give it a try if you haven't. I'm going to use my mixing palette. It comes with a spatula and it's kind of like a mirror, so you can actually see yourself, which is actually quite helpful if you are doing makeup on yourself. I'm going to use the Longwear to prep my eyes. I don't have problems with oily eyelids, so if you have oily eyelids you might want to use something else for your eyes, like an actual primer, but I mainly use this as a base because I can see a lot of veins on my eyes, and I'm going to use really bright pastel-like colors, so using a lighter shade of concealer will help me to make those colors pop a little bit more. And I just like to have that base so the shadows normally work a little bit better. And as you can see, I use up to the eyebrow a little bit because sometimes I like to do my eyebrows in different steps. And putting that concealer up to the brow bone would help me highlighting a tiny bit the brow bone and helping with that whole pulling up the eyes. As you can see, I'm trying to show you that with my hands. And it just gives you a really clean base to work with. I like to do a little bit of concealer on my nose, even though I probably will remove that later, because it just bothers me that I have a tiny bit of redness there. As you can see, I look quite pale. I have always been like that. I'm the kind of person that without makeup looks kind of sick. I think I have a little bit of an olive undertone. I might be wrong, but who knows. But once that's done, I would start with my eyebrows. And I'm going to start with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Powdered in Granite. Because my favorite thing ever, is the perfect color for my eyebrows, because otherwise anything turns really orange on my skin. And I'm showing you the one that broke. It was kind of sad for me because it was going strong for a few years, and the deep brow I'm going to use later, the palette, and a mirror that I use I go back and forward. That one has lights, and it can be quite helpful with details on the makeup so you can see better. And it's from Ricky Mirror. I will try to link that below in the description box. And once I have shown you that, I'm going to show you what I do with my eyebrows. So as you can see, the concealer has set pretty much, and as you can see, I'm putting on that powder and pretty much like a guideline. I really like to fill my eyebrows quite a bit. I would normally would start at the tail if I was going to do just powder, because where you first place the powder, it will deposit a little bit more product, and that's where I need the most product. I have quite full eyebrows, but by the tail, there's a few hairs that are missing, so I would normally put more powder there. But because I'm going to do a makeup look that is quite, you know, out there and is for the camera, powder tends to disappear in harsh lighting. That's why I like to use things like pomades, which are kind of tricky. I have used different products out there and I really like the hair by hair kind of style. The problem is that everything turns super orange on my skin quite easily. So this is a problem that I have with the undertone that I have. So other powders, I have tried so many ones, so many different products, literally look so fake on my eyebrows because they are too warm. Even if I buy things that are cool toned, sometimes they're not cool enough. And that's why I have such a big love for the Anastasia Granite color overall. And as you can see, I have picked a few brushes to start with the eye makeup. I'm placing some pretty much white, the same color as my concealer powder, just to help blend everything else and set that concealer really well. You don't need to, but I like to do that. And just bring it overall. I am using more of a tiny detail brush, but still quite fluffy, to start contouring the eyes. This will help give deepness to my eyes. I'm using Warm Taupe from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Renaissance palette. I love this palette and I love this color because it's a true contour color. So as I have mentioned before, I have kind of weird shaped eyes, I guess. Some people might call them hooded, but actually I don't have like a lot of skin there. I actually have like a prominent brow bone, and I don't have big eyes, but I kind of like the trick when it comes to my eye makeup, and I like to play with the space between my eyes and my eyebrows because I kind of have quite high eyebrows and they're quite arch. Even as a kid, I always had that kind of really arch eyebrow, like a tiny little rainbows kind of a deal. So I like to pull things, and that will help give the appearance that I have bigger eyes. So I pull up and to the sides, as you can see, and putting on a little bit of that concealer will help later to, you know, blend that eyeshadow, because I want it to be really super blended into the skin. I have add a little bit more of eyeshadow in the lower line, and I'm pinching up my brush. You don't have to do this, you can use a smaller brush, but I like to use the same brush sometimes. So if you want more of a detail, you can just pinch it a little tiny bit. I'm changing to a more fluffy eyeshadow brush so I can blend things a tiny bit more. Honestly, the contour part is not super necessary if you have deep set eyes, but it can be quite helpful for the overall look when you don't have super deep set eyes, because putting bright colors can make things look quite plain if you're not careful. I'm going to use this palette from Juvia's Place. It's quite new for me. I have used it just a few times, and the idea was to use one color from one eye and one color from the other eye. And as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of fallout. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about this palette because I haven't tried all the colors, but I have tried these two colors, and overall I'm kind of disappointed. I thought that Juvia's Place had more pigmentation than this. And sure, the shadows have the ability to build up, but I like shadows that have more pigmentation than this normally. I don't like to work so much on building up the color. And I guess this is just personal preference. If you are new to makeup and you are in the paler side, you might like this because it's not so much pigmentation right off the bat. But if you're someone who is darker than me, you might find this quite frustrating because you might not get the color to show up in your skin. That's why I like shadows with more pigmentation than this. But as you can see, I'm starting to use my fingers. Fingers help a lot when you don't have really pigmented shadows, like the emollients in your fingers help pat that on. And as you can see, I'm trying to pat that on. But I will try the whole palette and let you know in a different video how I felt about this, because I know sometimes certain shadows can be more difficult than others to create, so I'm going to give it a try to the whole palette. And as you can see, I'm just trying to get as much color as I can, and I'm going to use a fluffy eyeshadow brush. I will try to link this down below, and it's pretty much to make the edges a tiny bit more blended, because I pat the color, it was kind of harsh chalk kind of looking, which I don't like. And if you see, I try to put more color in certain places that the color disappear, but I try to blend it. So that's why I really like shadows with more pigmentation. You don't have so much trouble building that color. And one point that is super important for me in an eyeshadow is that the eyeshadow has dimension. By this I mean that you can use one shadow and be able to deposit more color in a place to keep depth, and share it out by blending, and have a whole look with just one eyeshadow. And you are able to do that with really good eyeshadows. So as you can see, this eyeshadow is getting kind of patchy because it doesn't want to build up, and it doesn't want to sheer out, and it doesn't want to blend as much as I would like it to. Because to me, blending your eyeshadows is super important, but you can totally see the quality of an eyeshadow if it takes forever to build and to blend. Like really, I'm so disappointed in these eyeshadows, but we're going to try to make this work. And once I have spent a good 15 minutes trying to blend that and it's not getting any better, I did my cut crease out of camera. It's kind of like a bold cut crease because I want to play with my eye shape and make my eyes look as bigger as possible. And I use my Longwear concealer, and as you can see, it's a little bit creased, but I'm going to use that on my favor because I'm going to put glitter there. and I'm showing you different glitters that I like and I find them to be more flattering on person. I love the NATASHA DENONA glitters. They're so well done. I'm not a fan of the mattes in this palette. I find them to be quite chalky, and I'm showing you this Marc Jacobs glitter too. I have quite a few of them. I love them. They're stunning, but I'm just trying to give you options here, because one important thing to mention is that makeup looks really different depending on the lighting. So I'm showing you this eyeliner with glitter that is from Urban Decay, and I love that for details. And I'm going to be using this Tati beauty palette. And being completely honest with you guys, I am super impressed. This might be my favorite palette in the whole year. Like literally every single shadow that I have tried looks amazing, and I think a really strong point in this palette is that Tati knows about glitter in eyeshadow. So there's so many different finishes. I'm showing you this one, and I love this one. It looks kind of plain, but it's actually like a vanilla color with tiny micro pink glitters running through it. In this part, I'm trying to show you what happens when you have micro glitter and you have super bright lights. It kind of just disappears. So when I talk about different finishes and what lighting you are going to have, it's important to know that chunky glitters look better on bright lights and more micro glitters look better in natural lighting. Or at least that has been my experience. Everyone has their own taste, and personally I tend to prefer to use more micro glitters in the daylight, in natural lighting. I think it can look more flattering, and it's not so hard to work with. One big thing about wearing bright, colorful eyeshadows with tons of glitter is that it's a little bit more messy. So honestly, you have to be patient with it, because you don't want to get tons of glitter on your eyes. And if I was doing this without filming it, you will have seen me putting my face inclined so the eyeshadow falls to the floor and not on my eyes and not on my face. So that's a tip if you're doing makeup on yourself. Just incline your face a tiny bit and most of the fallout will get on the floor and it won't make such a mess on your skin. Because if you have used glitter, you know that sometimes it can be a pain removing it from your face. So once I have pat that glitter on my eyelids, I'm going to use a more detailed brush to use in the inner corners and just to give more detail, because I wanna put the glitter in my whole cut crease. And I have these wipes which I love because I tend to, you know, get messy with my makeup. And I'm going to use the pink glitter on my other eye. And honestly speaking, I have been told that these chunky glitters work better with a glitter glue, so that's something to keep in mind. But honestly, you can make them work. It wasn't really hard whatsoever. If I can do it, you can do it. Just have a little bit of patience with it. And this look is a lot of going back and forward. Honestly, it won't be so hard if you use better eyeshadows, because honestly I was not really happy with the way the eyeshadows blended, so I had to go back and forward so many times to get a decent look. And I do this all the time, even more so if I'm doing a makeup that is more dramatic, because you can always add more, but removing can't become a mess. So doing certain makeup parts by steps might be helpful because it allows you to always add more. And as you can see, I'm trying to line my cut crease here. It's mainly to get the same look that the other eye had. And as you can see, the purple eyeshadow was able to give me that really deep purple eyeshadow and then blend onto my brow bone, and the other pink eyeshadow from Juvia's Place kind of looked chalky and didn't have that really deep color. So I have to put that with the Tati palette, and honestly it kind of looked a little bit messy, but it was because I already have put the glitter and all of that. So if I was going to do this look again, I might have put first the Tati eyeshadow over the Juvia's Place one. And I'm using this glitter liner from Urban Decay because it helps with the little details. As I said before, I really want to put a glitter in my whole cut crease, even in the lower lash line, because we are faking doll-like big eyes, which I don't have, but with makeup I can get the look. So once that seems somewhat okay, and I just give it a few little touches here and there, I am going to continue with my eyeliner, which I did off camera, and as you can see I already put some lashes too. So I'm pretty much showing you what I use. So I use the CLIO liner and is the GIGABLACK eyeliner, and I use the Marc Jacobs black liner for the waterline. I find this to be super good quality. I curl my lashes and I put some mascara. This mascara is meant for the lower lashes and it's amazing at that, but I didn't have any top mascara and I was going to put these Kiss lashes, which I really like. They're super budget friendly and they're really pretty, so I really recommend them. I got them on Amazon, and I'm going to use these curling wipes, which are amazing because the ingredients are really good. They're pretty much just wipes, you know, cloth with micellar water. So I find them super gentle on the skin, and I don't try to pull too much, but I'm just trying to remove the fallout that I might have, and it works wonders to have a really clean eye makeup line, so it's more precise everything. And once that's done, we can move to our base makeup, and I'm going to start with a little bit of color correction. As you can see, I have quite dark under eyes, and I'm going to use this color corrector from Estee Lauder. I'm super big fan of this one. It has two different sides. One has more pigment than the other, and I'm running out of it. As you can see, I love this stuff. Like, this is holy grail for me for color correction. I use them for my panda eyes, and I use them when I get hyperpigmentation. I tend to get post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. You know, that's the dark mark that you get after a breakout. And because I'm Latin, I have quite a bit of melanin in my skin. Although I'm in the paler side, I'm prone to that. The darker your skin is, the more you're prone to that. So I highly recommend this product. I haven't found anything that it's better than this. And this is a whole line as far as I know. They have different colors for different necessities. I honestly haven't tried the other colors because I don't need them, but if they are the same as this formula, I would say they're really, really, really good. And you know, I really like the double side because I don't need that much pigmentation in my mouth, but I do need that pigmentation on my panda eyes. So I like to blend the corners so it doesn't look too harsh, but I still want to maintain that pigmentation where I put it, because I don't need it everywhere. I just need it there in that really dark place. And I add a little bit more because honestly I was a little bit sleep deprived, but we are running with it. So I add a little bit more because I don't want that darkness coming through my makeup. And I find that when you wear really colorful eyeshadows, sometimes that can bring out discoloration on your skin. So I like a really perfected skin when I'm wearing really bright makeup looks. So once I have done the whole color correction thing, I going to start with the contour and then I will move to foundation. If it makes any sense to you, I'm going to do the whole technique of contour first and then putting on the foundation. I don't normally do this, but I saw Scott Barnes doing this and it looked beautiful, so I wanted to give it a try. So, but the magic of editing, you can see that I already have my base pretty much done. I just need to add blush, highlighting, and giving it the finishing touches. I love blush and I have been loving these cream blushes. I give you different options here. I love the Honest Beauty ones, they're amazing, but I know they can be pricey. So I have this e.l.f. palette that is amazing too, and I use all the time. So if you are not sure about cream blushes, maybe give it a try with the e.l.f. one and see if you like them. For my overall experience, the e.l.f. ones are just a tiny bit less emollient than the Honest Beauty ones, but it's not a drastic difference. And the placement of the blush will change the overall look depending on where you place things. So personally, I really like to make things look like pull upwards per se. So I place my blush really high, and actually I tend to combine different colors. So I have a darker color really high and a softer color in the center of my face. So you give quite a bit of attention to the sides of my face and it looks more upwards, but I still like to put quite a bit of blush in the center of my face, if you know what I mean. I will actually put it a little, sometimes I put it a little bit on my nose, but that's not the most flattering for me. I have to be careful because I can put it in the bridge of my nose, but I have to be careful not putting it in the sides because it can make my nose look larger than it is and it will go against the whole contouring thing that I did. So that's something to keep in mind. If you don't mind, go ahead, have fun with it. But personally, I prefer not to because I know what looks best on me. And honestly, one of my favorite thing is to put blush up to my temples and use it as an eyeshadow for an everyday basis and combine different colors and make it look like a watercolor. I might do a video about it. I do it all the time. It's one of my favorite things ever. So that's why I really like blushes and cream blushes. They have this ability to melt into your foundation and it kind of looks like skin. And if you don't like using cream or liquid blushes, you can still get the look with powder blushes. It's just the placement and it's really important to blend a lot. So that's something to keep in mind, because I find that it's really important to use what you already have. And I know that cream blushes doesn't always work for everyone. Some people have really oily skin and those don't tend to last on their skin. So I totally get it. You can actually get the same look if you have oily skin. It might look slightly different, but not too far away. So just don't stress about it. And as you can see, I have moved on to do a little bit of contouring on the lips. Honestly speaking, I don't always do this, but I do find that it makes a difference. I personally have way too many different ways to do this. You can do it with powder, you can do it with cream. I would have to say that it's better if you are precise with it. So even using a lip liner like MAC Stoned lip liner is a good idea. Although if you have dry skin or you have a really emollient foundation, I don't know how will that work, because Stone is a lip liner and it's in the drier side, so I don't know how much it will melt into your skin, so keep that in mind. But I actually really like that stoned color for lining my lips. It's really good at creating really pouty lips. And I do line the sides of my lips mainly because I'm trying to make my lips more symmetrical and balanced. But honestly, what I actually do overline tends to be the middle of my lips. So the top and bottom part of it in the middle is what tends to look more flattering in most people, because most people don't want a huge mouth, they want powder lips, if you know what I mean. And here I'm adding a tiny bit of bronzer because I went way too crazy with the highlighting and I look a little bit ashy, so I'm trying to give back that warmness a tiny bit. And this is a good color for me because I don't tend to suit really warm bronzers. This is more a neutral toned. So as you can see, I'm just putting a tiny bit. I don't put a lot on my forehead because I don't have a big forehead, but I have realized that I have quite a bit of makeup there, so it probably look quite pale there. And you know, I didn't remove it. I totally forgot at the end of the video. I was just trying to finish this, but I just tried to be really precise with blending this and don't moving too much the product and maintaining the color where I put it. And honestly, at this point, it's all about details. Details will make such a difference in the overall look on your makeup if you put attention to them. That's why this kind of looks take quite a long time to get them right, at least in my experience, because you really want to be precise with the details. You want to put attention to them, so you get to that sweet point where your makeup looks artistic but flattering, if you know what I mean. And at this point, it's pretty much all about the details. I try to make everything seem as seamless as possible. I'm setting my face with this CoverGirl powder. It's a really light powder and I'm trying to use as little as possible just in the creasing. And I do use a separate different powder. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the number 2 for the perimeters of my face, so I don't look too oily. There's a fine line between looking oily and glowy, so you might wanna powder a tiny bit certain places, but I really like the glowy look. And then I'm finally moving to highlighting with, you know, an actual highlighter, if you know what I mean. And I love this color from MAC. It's soft and gentle. It's so good. It's really flattering on my coloring. It can give you the most soft look and it can be quite potent at the same time. It never fails me. it looks super flattering in real life and on camera too. It just makes your skin look glass-like. And as you can see, I'm putting a tiny bit on the top of the bridge of my nose because that will make it look bigger and more forward, and in the highest points of my cheekbones, so the light can reflect and give the illusion of bigger, more plumped cheekbones. And moving on, I'm going to do my eyebrows with a lip brush, so I can really get the tiniest bit of product into my brows. You don't have to do this, but because I wanted to take pictures and I have really harsh lighting, I find that sometimes, as I mentioned before, the corners of my eyebrows disappears in pictures. You don't have to do this if you're going to wear this in daylight. It won't be the most flattering thing. It doesn't look bad. I have worn this before in daytime, but it just honestly takes too much time to make it look decent. Because it's kind of like a really hard product to work with. But as I have mentioned before, I really have trouble finding a really cool tone, so I normally tend to gravitate to Anastasia Beverly Hills everything. And do not get me wrong, I really love their powder and their pencils. So if I really want a more defined look, I normally tend to grab the pencils and just give it the tiny bits of touches. But for recording or really harsh lighting, I tend to use the pomade. And as you can see, I have the two brows done. I didn't want to bore you with that, but I think I did a good job making them look bold. But you can still see the tiny hairs on my eyebrows, so I'm happy with the result. I know that it's not for everyone, but I really wanted to go crazy with the eye makeup, so that's why I did that. And I'm adding this lip liner from Huda Beauty. I'm going to link the color and everything down below. And as you can see, I didn't get too crazy with the lips because I didn't want it to steal any attention from the eye makeup, so I'm just trying to take something that will be complementary to that. So pretty much I am just lining my lips, and later on I would add some liquid lipstick from Jeffree Star. I will link the color down below. Honestly, I'm not super fan of liquid lipstick. I am more of a lipstick kind of a person, like a lip liner lipstick kind of a person. But I thought this color would be good because it is slightly lighter than the actual lip liner, so it will give a little bit of plumpness to the lips, making them appear bigger than they are, because we use quite similar colors, but we use a lighter color in the center of the lips. So just try to use just the tiniest bit of product. I find that I really don't like when people add too much liquid liner, because what it tends to happen is that it cracks and you get this really weird texture with it, which I think is not really complimentary for your lips. So for the most part, I like to work better with a tiny bit of product. And once that's done, I went ahead and put some hair accessories. As you can see, I went crazy with it, but I had so much fun doing it, so I really like it. And then I'm going to finish off my eye makeup. As you can see, I'm pretty much just detailing the line of the lash line, so we make our eyes appear bigger than they are. I'm going to line my eyes, and I'm going to really diffuse the color up to the temples. So you pretty much will see me going back and forward because this is not the best shadow for that purpose, but because it's the tone that I already use, I just didn't want to end up messing it up with another eyeshadow. So here I'm trying to show you that I just want the eye to look really cat eyes, so really big and really pulled to the sides. And because the other shadow did that just by itself, I had to go with a brush liner and give it those details to the pink eyeshadow. So just trying to really diffuse that and make everything look seamless, and a lot of blending and going back and forward until things look just fine. And then I would have to add more of that pink glitter eyeshadow in the bottom half, because I have my cut crease until that part and I leave it bare on purpose because I wanted to add the glitter there too. So we really fake on those really big dull eyes that I don't have, but makeup exists, and as you can see, it does makes a difference. But at this point I realized that the glitter didn't want to stick too much, so I started to use a tiny bit of that liner with glitter because it helps a lot. That liner with glitter has like a little bit of glue by itself, so you can combine it with other stuff. And I'm pretty much lining a little bit of my waterline with a brush, but using the Marc Jacobs pencil so I could warm up the product and be more precise. And then I move on to mascara, and that's pretty much it. So as you can see, this is the final look. I hope you like the look. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and any information about the products will be in the description box. Please follow me in my social media and subscribe if you like this video. I'm really trying to make more videos. I just have been, you know, really dying with the workload that I have from my uni. Like, it's not funny how much homework I have. It stresses me out so much, but I'm trying to do my best because this is actually like a relaxing thing for me to do. I really enjoy makeup, as you can notice. But yeah, so hopefully I will do more of these videos, and thanks for watching. Bye.